A narcissist can't stand for you to be smart. So you're smarter than a fifth grader. How dare you? They don't want you to have any common sense because they feel like your common sense is a threat to their nonsense. Their nonsense is upset by your common sense. How dare you have a mind of your own? The narcissist said, think like me. My narcissistic ex-husband had a strong manifesto. He had a real public service announcement. He could not wait to tell me every chance that he got. He made a public declaration of just how he felt about his own intelligence. He would always tell me that he was smarter than the average person. And this is how I knew that the narcissist was delusional, borderline unstable. Am I trying to take away from his intelligence in any way? No. But to say that you're smarter than the average person is quite arrogant. And you have to look at what it was based in. It was based in his ability to get away with wrongdoing. He had practiced so much evil and corruption that he felt like he was better at outsmarting people, which therefore made him smarter. Narcissists are delusional in that they start believing their own nonsense, their own gibberish. To be delusional is to firmly believe something that's completely false. A delusional person will not change their mind even though there's clear proof that they're wrong. I remember one time I found evidence of infidelity and I confronted my ex-spouse about it. I had a photo of what I found and I explained to him exactly where I found it. I presented the delusional narcissist with the evidence straight up to his face. And he tells me, if you didn't see me do it, I didn't do it. If you didn't catch me in the act, I didn't do it. And even if you did catch me in the act, you should believe me and not your lying eyes. Why does the narcissist get upset when you exercise your good common sense? They get upset when they can't confuse you with their circular conversation. They get upset when they can't influence you to go their way. And finally, they get upset when they find out they cannot damage your mental health. The narcissist wants to take you around and around in a circular conversation because they are the authors of confusion. They will say a lot of things to you that don't make sense. They will take you around in a circular conversation that never has any point to it, never comes to any conclusion or reckoning. They like to argue with you and they end up contradicting the very thing that they said at the beginning. They never expected you to have a point, and if you do have a point, they don't want to hear it. They will try to overtalk you to drive their point home. They don't want you to have a rebuttal. They want to twist your mind all around. They don't want you to come to any type of understanding. They want to keep you confused and have you asking why at the very end. Their goal is to keep you focused on them and what they have to say and what their mind is all about. They don't want you to have your own mind. They twist your brain up in their chaos and confusion with this circular conversation, hoping that they can conquer you. When you stay the course, when you stay holding to your own beliefs, they get very mad about this. The point of the circular conversation is to control you, and they get upset when they can't. When you can leave the conversation, where you can wash your hands of it, they get upset that they have failed to make you upset. They get upset when they have failed to confuse you. They see how determined you are to not be confused and to not be frustrated. And this makes them highly upset. When you give it up and you turn it loose and you tell them you can have it, you got it, they're not happy about that. When you throw in the towel and you're not willing to do whatever it takes just to get along, they can't stand that. When you're not kissing up to them and trying to make it right with these circular conversations, they get upset. They will call you stubborn. They will tick their mouth at you. They will leave the room. They will walk off. And this is because they could not get their nonsense to rub off on your common sense. The next thing that the narcissist gets upset about is they cannot successfully influence you. They really want to get you to go their way and to change your mind about certain things. One thing a narcissist cannot stand and they get upset about is a made-up mind. They want to be able to have that influence and that control over you. If you tell the narcissist that you don't drink that much, you're not a heavy drinker, you prefer not to drink, etc., they're going to do everything in their power to get you to have a drink. They're going to keep offering you drinks over and over again. Their goal is to influence you. They want to influence you to be under the influence. They want to influence you in this way so that it could be easier for them to influence you. If they can get the aid of an alcoholic beverage to get you under the influence, they feel like you will be more susceptible to being under their influence. They want to engage you in vices and addictions as a gateway to get influence over you. They think you're uptight and they want to loosen you up with alcoholic beverages. They want to get you to be like them. A lot of them are stone cold alcoholics and they want you to come over to that side. They see you with all this self-control and they want you to lose it. You know that you have a charge from God to be sober-minded. And to be sober means you are free of intoxication, free of influence. One of the fruit of the Spirit is temperance, which is self-control. You know that you're not supposed to be given to much liquor. You know that you're not supposed to be a drunkard. You have common sense and you want to be sober. You want to be clear and alert. You do not want your judgment clouded by sin. You want to be in control of your emotions and you don't want to deal with any worldly distractions. The narcissist is all about trying to get you to go out of your comfort zone, get you to cross your boundaries, to get you to go against things that you said you previously wouldn't go against. They know that if they can get you into their nonsense, then they can get you out of your common sense. They're going to get upset with you when you decline something like a drink. They're going to start calling you names, sticks in the mud, lame, etc. And then they get upset with you that the names don't work. When they call you a lightweight, you don't get upset about it. They cannot get you to subscribe to their philosophy. Your common sense has you seeing past the surface level. You don't just think of alcohol as just a liquid. You think beyond the surface level of that. And narcissists have nonsense that will not allow them to understand your common sense. You are not trying to do anything to alter your mind or your state of consciousness. You are not trying to do anything that will defile your temple. You are not trying to do anything that will have your good be evilly spoken of. It is your will to please the Father. You desire to keep His commandments. These are all the things that have you having common sense. And these are all the things that a narcissist will never understand because they constantly deal in nonsense. A narcissist will even go so far as trying to influence you by bribing you with physical activity. They do this push and pull dynamic. They do this thing of starving you out for attention versus flooding you out with it. And this is the type of nonsense that they will do with you to override your common sense. Lastly, narcissists get upset when they find out they cannot damage your mental health. They cannot permanently damage it. Narcissists don't like your common sense of the comeback. Narcissists don't like that you can go off and heal yourself through the Word of God. You can go off and talk to God in prayer. Narcissists get upset at your common sense of you knowing that you need Jesus. You know that you cannot fight your battles on your own and alone. They get upset of your common sense that you have enough sense to go to the throne of grace. You will pray about it. You will seek God. They get upset about this because they want you to come to them. When they do things to get you down, like punch you in the face, slap you, kick you, punch you, push you up against walls and shove you into closets. When they do things like that, they're trying to get you down, and they want you to stay down. They do all types of nonsense to try to bring you down. When they see that you have the common sense to get back up again, they get upset about it. You have the common sense to go do research to try to figure out the answer to the problem. You have the common sense to go look up symptoms and try to figure out behavior patterns, figure out what they mean. You have the common sense to get to the bottom things and the square root. The narcissist wants to keep you in nonsense and bondage. They get so very upset with you trying to climb out of the hole of nonsense. I remember the narcissist calling me stupid so much. He would engage in back-to-back nonsense of belittling me. And I responded back to him with a common sense question. Why did you marry me? If I'm so bad, so much of the B word, etc., and comma, exclamation point, then why did you marry me? And the narcissist had no response. He had no comeback. He had no nonsense response to my common sense question. The narcissist would beat me down with his words all the time. And I would hit him with a common sense question or statement. Why don't you go ahead and divorce me then? He never had a rebuttal, never had a response to my common sense questions or statements. And this is what let me know he was talking a whole lot of noise and a whole lot of nonsense. You cannot allow the nonsense of a narcissist to have its way in your life. You must fight back with the word of truth, the word of God, and your common sense. Let the narcissist stay in the dark with their nonsense, and you walk with your common sense towards the marvelous light.